The most recent Skytech PCs that we've reviewed have all had incredible price to performance. This one right here is one that I have talked about quite a few times in the past, but I haven't had hands-on experience with it until now. And we're going to share with you our full experience to help you decide if this specific build is right for you in this honest review of the Skytech Legacy 4. This configuration that we have here for you includes the all-new AMD 9950X3D CPU and super powerful NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5090. We're going to quickly take you through the unboxing and what's included, gaming and creator benchmarks, design and build quality, the internals, thermals, fan noise, overall ease of use, pricing breakdowns and comparing its price to performance ratios against the competition, and my overall top likes and dislikes. If you decide against this PC after anything that I say in this video, just keep watching because I'm also going to be sharing with you some alternative PCs that I recommend for every budget. I'll also include links down below for all the products that I mentioned, as well as tag directly on this video or using a QR code if you're watching on a TV. I guarantee that by the end of this video, you will know if this PC is right for you or not. But if you still have any questions after watching this entire video, just shoot me a comment, and if you're publicly subscribed, I guarantee a personal response. All right, now let's rewind back into the past real quick and check out what came in the box. First thing we got in here is a little Skytech folder with a quality control certificate, verifying it's been thoroughly inspected and signed off by at least 3 people, a pretty handy troubleshooting guide, thank you card, and a very basic quick start guide for those of you that are new to PC gaming. And then we've got an accessory box in here with a very helpful and thorough user manual for the case, a bunch of extra screws in case you do any upgrading, a fan adapter cable, and some cable ties. Then we also have that typical very basic Skytech gaming keyboard. We've received this or the white one with every Skytech PC. I do really wish there could be just a solid color option for the lighting on this. You also get a Skytech gaming mouse in here as well, and I actually really like the design of this one. The hexagon holes really help keep your hand from sweating, and it looks really cool in the dark. You also get this black bag with a bunch of PSU cables, and then lastly, deep down at the bottom, your massive power cable and Wi-Fi antennas. This PC was built using the Antec P1 Performance case, which is a fairly large full tower case that's 9 inches wide, 20.5 inches tall, and 20.5 inches deep. There's 7 RGB fans total in here. Behind this front magnetic dust filter, we've got 3 large 140mm intake fans, and then a total of 4 120mm exhaust fans, with 3 on the top and 1 on the back. These front 3 fans are actually part of this PC's AIO liquid cooling system for the CPU. And for those of you new to PC gaming, that's the most important part of keeping your CPU cool. This cooling block right here uses a liquid to take the heat that's generated from the CPU and quickly transfer it up through these tubes into a 360mm radiator where the heat is spread out and then in this case technically blown back into the case. And we'll show you how that affected thermals here in a sec. To access the internals, you first need to remove one screw on the back and then pop out this side glass panel. Inside to the right of our CPU is our 6000 MHz DDR5 RAM. The ones that they include with this PC are T-Force Delta RGB DDR5 RAM sticks, 2 32GB sticks for a total of 64. Definitely overkill for gaming as most games don't use past 16GB, but that would be very helpful for 4K editing, motion graphics work, or high polygon 3D modeling and animation. Then underneath the CPU, behind this very thick metal heatsink, which can be removed without any tools, is our SSD, which is the main drive that everything is installed on. This one they include in here is a 2TB Samsung 9100 Pro, which is by far the absolute fastest that we've ever seen in a pre-built. Over 14,000 megabytes per second read and 13,000 write. That's incredibly fast. The MVP of this PC though, and the most expensive by far, this 5090 GPU. The one that they included in here is the Gigabyte Gaming OC 5090, which is the most common 5090 GPU that I've seen multiple PC brands include in their pre-builts, and it is a beast. I also appreciate the use of RGB within their fans, which is not a common thing for many of these 5090s. By itself, this beast is 20 $2,900. One thing that's kind of a shame with this GPU and motherboard combo, which by the way is an ASRock X870 Pro RS Wi-Fi motherboard, is that this GPU completely blocks the only extra available PCIe slot in here. So absolutely no room for expansion cards. Then at the very bottom behind this much larger metal heatsink, we've got 2 more slots for additional SSDs. Then swinging around to the back, this right here is actually pretty cool. They also put another tempered glass panel on the back side so you can see into the PC back here as well. I also love how clean it is back here. These 2 panels on the left and bottom cover up all the cables. And back here we've got 3 more bays for 2.5-inch SATA SSDs, then a bracket down at the bottom for an additional 3.5-inch mechanical hard drive. And lastly, PSU they put in here is an MSI Mag A1250GL 1250 watt 80 plus gold power supply. They also give you access to slide that out from the back, which I really appreciate. For the ports on the top, we've got that fancy temperature display switch, 1 USB-C, 2 USB A3s, a headphone microphone combo jack, reset button, and your power button. On the back, a BIOS flashback button, 1 HDMI and connectors for your Wi-Fi antennas, 10 more USB-As and 2 USB 4 Type-Cs, a 2.5G Ethernet port, and then for your audio on the bottom, a high-quality SPDIF, line out and line in. Then on the back of your 5090 GPU, 1 HDMI and 3 display ports. Software-wise, there's 2 main apps that come with this PC. The first one being a small program called iUnity. By the way, this is something that has to run in order for that temperature display on the outside of the case to actually show up. Signal RGB is another program that you'll probably use, if not frequently, you will initially. This app used to be my least favorite RGB software, but now it's actually my favorite. A couple years ago, it was really bad with being able to connect all your components and getting them all in sync. The past few PCs that I've used this on recently though have worked really well with it. Plus it also has the most creative RGB animation presets that I've seen yet. For controlling the fans, no stock software for that, but the BIOS does have great fan presets that are really easy to modify. And there's plenty of other options throughout the rest of the BIOS as well if you want to fine tune and tweak any of your settings further. For the fan noise, these are my results after testing each of the main fan profiles in my studio, which is a somewhat quieter than normal room with very little ambient noise. In quiet mode, it was only about 41 decibels. But then when gaming in performance mode, it brought the fan noise up to about 47.8 decibels. This was about average for when it was idle in quiet mode, but one of the loudest when gaming in performance mode. Normal gameplay levels drown this out though, especially with headphones. Now for the thermals, you can see in our thermal imaging time lapse from computer off to full on gaming that as usual, we do get some heat built up on the glass right there next to the GPU. Taking off the glass panel reveals a bit more in detail about where specifically on the GPU the heat is originating from. I also got in closer and examined the GPU connectors as well to make absolutely sure we were not having any issues. You can see that we were definitely not getting anywhere near those 150 degrees Celsius numbers a few 5090 owners on Reddit had. And likewise, as you can imagine, there were no signs of melting on the inside of the connectors either. Overall, the back and top exhaust fans seem to be doing a pretty good job removing heat quickly. The majority of my testing was spent in actual gameplay though. These were our average CPU temperatures for 8 different games at 1080p resolution. And you can see that compared to other similar spec pre-builts that these temps were about average. And then averaging all 1080p gaming temperatures data together on many of the recent past PCs that we've reviewed, this gives us an even better overall perspective on how it stacks up against other older PCs as well. Pretty decent overall. Then jumping into 4K gaming, we organized this chart by the GPU because high resolution gaming puts a lot more pressure on the GPU and less on the CPU. And here you can see that it was right there in the middle when comparing other recent PCs that also had 5090 GPUs. Now for the good stuff, performance and gaming benchmarks. And up next, the most important part of this review, the price to performance ratios. For Cinebench R23, which simulates its 3D rendering power, we got a multi-core score of about 42,000. This is an absolutely incredible score, the best we've ever seen for an AMD CPU and almost the best we've seen ever. I knew it would be good for rendering based on what I've seen, but it was really exciting to actually see these numbers firsthand, especially when I know that the gaming benchmarks are gonna be incredible too. You can see on this chart how much better this CPU is for rendering than those 9800 X3Ds way further down. Another very helpful test for 3D renderers is the V-Ray benchmark. These were our CUDA, RTX, and overall V-Ray performance scores. Over 50,000 for the performance score is actually insane. This is by far the highest we've ever seen in any computer we've tested. This is a CPU-based rendering test that demonstrates how well a PC can handle the more advanced realistic rendering that takes a lot longer to calculate. The GPU rendering score, though, is for those of you that are doing a lot of high polygon 3D modeling or real-time viewport rendering and lighting. And this chart right here shows how incredibly powerful the 5090 GPU in this PC is. Also, almost the best performing GPU rendering score that we've ever seen for this test. And if that's not enough, even more exciting news for all of you creators out there, our Adobe Premiere Fusion benchmark for this PC was over 17,000. This is also a record for the highest score that we've ever seen for this test. So this is definitely my top pick right now for anybody doing 4K editing, motion graphics work, or 3D modeling and animation. For 3D Mark, which is usually a pretty good benchmark used to predict a computer's overall gameability, you can see here that it was actually a bit lower than what's expected for a top-tier PC with these specs. Actual gaming benchmarks are what really matters though, and probably what you guys care the most about anyway. These were our average and 1% low FPS numbers that we got for several games at their highest preset settings at 1080p. This is pretty impressive considering how high these graphics settings were cranked up. Then putting the average gaming FPS overall up next to other recent pre-built PCs, you can see that it was about average compared to other similar spec PCs with 9800 X3Ds. And this chart shows how all these next-gen PCs compared to previous gen. You can definitely see a trend of how much better 9000 series X3D CPUs with 5090s perform compared to everything else at this resolution. Then at 1440p, the Skytech Legacy was actually the best performer that we've ever seen. 351 average FPS at this resolution with maximum graphic presets is absolutely incredible. And then at 4K, just barely beating the Prism 3 with the best overall average FPS at that resolution as well. This year we've added 5 more games to our benchmarks though. So we made this chart representing the average of even more games on the most recent PCs only. This revealed the top 4 to basically be almost identical to each other overall. But since every game is different, these are this Skytech Legacy's more specific average FPS for each game that we tested with their 1% lows. Most of these numbers were pretty impressive, but for some reason Call of Duty Black Ops 6 was a little lower than I expected it to be. Since that was the only one, it was probably due to an update in the game itself. The older Call of Duty Black Ops 4 had crazy FPS. I also did a 5-hour live stream benchmarking many other games for this PC. Click up here to check out that, the link in the description, or this QR code if you're watching on a TV. Now, as far as factoring in the price to performance of this PC, right now at the time of this recording, this PC is going to cost you a steep $5,600. And that's mainly because that 9950 X3D CPU is so incredibly expensive, because it's basically the everything CPU for both creators and gamers. So if you're only needing a PC for gaming, that Skytech Prism 3 I just recently reviewed is still only $4,800. A much better bang for your buck. When looking at the pricing per FPS charts for both 1080p and 1440p gaming, you can see that the Skytech Prism 3 is actually the best deal for a pre-built 5090 PC that we've seen yet. Still, this Skytech Legacy 4 showed to be about average in FPS price to performance, even with that really expensive CPU. And then at 4K, when highlighting the dollar per FPS ratios of all the 5090 pre-builts, you can see that it's a slightly better value on average for its performance. That Skytech Prism 3 with the 5090 is still the best value overall for a top tier pre-built. Now, if you're understandably at an entirely different price point, these are my recommendations for every budget. I'll also include links down below for all the products that I mentioned, as well as tag directly on this video or using a QR code if you're watching on a TV. If your budget is closer to $3,000, then I would get this Skytech King 95 with a 9800 X3D and 5080 GPU. I really liked this one when I reviewed it, and this one is about 3 times faster than the configuration of that one. But if you like the peace of mind of double the warranty of most gaming PCs at 2 years and double the return period at 60 days, then I would stick with the 5080 version of the Vengeance A7 500 that I recently reviewed for about $3,500. If you need to be closer to $2,000, then your best bet would definitely be that AVGPC Whirlwind that I just recently reviewed with AMD's new 9070 XT GPU. As more of a budget-friendly PC, it's not the fastest overall by any means, but this one actually had the absolute best price-to-performance ratio that we've ever seen at every resolution. It's still in really high demand right now, so if that goes back out of stock again, then I would get this Skytech Omega Omega, also with AMD's new 9070 XT GPU, as well as a 7800X 3D CPU. This one's going to perform just slightly better than that AVGPC, it's just a little bit more expensive. And if you absolutely have to be under $1,000 or you're just now getting into gaming PCs and you want your graphics to at least match that of a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, then a semi-decent option would be this ABS Cyclone Aqua for about $900. That is the bare minimum that I'd recommend for semi-decent graphics settings though. Overall, my least favorite things about this PC are its use of a motherboard GPU combo that covers its one and only extra PCIe slot, it's louder than average fans, and the fact that it did not have the latest BIOS pre-installed. Make sure if you get this PC to update the BIOS. My link in the description or this QR code takes you to the download instructions page. The BIOS this PC came with had an issue that was actually causing the motherboard to harm 9000 series CPUs. This has been fixed with the latest BIOS update, which is 3.325, and the one after that, 3.3. Make sure you have at least 3.25. I did actually get about 3% better 4K FPS with the BIOS that this PC came with, but the peace of mind is worth knowing the CPU is not being pushed past beyond what it safely should. But my favorite things about this PC, its overall clean and unique design with its dual tempered glass panels and hidden cables on the back, its ridiculously fast SSD speeds, the fact that it had the absolute best performance for creators, and also top tier performance for gaming. If you do decide to purchase this PC or any of the others that I mentioned, then please remember to use my affiliate links in the comments and description below, as I get a small commission at no cost to you for every single purchase made. And it's actually a major factor in keeping this channel going and getting better and better for you. Also, make sure to check out my 5-hour long and uncut benchmarks video for all of our actual gameplay with detailed stats and exact graphic settings used. Also, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe with notifications turned on to stay up to date with all of my latest tech and gaming PCs. PC gaming is awesome, but please do not let it consume your life. What helps me mentally is getting outside, staying active, eating healthy, and spending more time with my family. Also, reading the Bible at least 4 times a week has been shown to massively boost your mental health, and I can attest to that. And if you are a little skeptical about the Bible, then check out the book or documentary, The Case for Christ.